Hello, hello.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Happy
Yes.
Sunday.
Sunday fun day.
That's right. Well, I'll let you say that.
But thanks for tuning in.
Patty. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Legacy hobbyist, Whips World. What's up, buddy? Let's
Welcome,
get
welcome.
tanked.
Yes. Yep.
Sandy. Hello. The old fish. Almost midnight here, but who has time to sleep when there's fish people going live?
I know, right?
Absolutely.
I wake up to fish chats and I go to sleep to fish chats and I work during the day to fish chats and I love it.
Mark, good day and welcome. Dave, hello. Boxing up, order, and lurking. Well, that's always a good thing.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for lurking.
Fish Tank Barn, hey.
Hey, hey.
Hopefully, you're having a wonderful weekend. I am for the most part.
My allergies have kicked in full force, so that's been great. But it's worth it for the nice weather minus today. Today it's cold again. Chilly. I won't say cold. It's chilly.
I got a lot of fun little projects done, except for the fact I thought I had a roll of thicker plastic for Carrie's greenhouse idea.
Because last week
and I did not.
Yeah, last week we kind of talked about we started a bunch of things all at once. We had the axolotl tank stand and chiller, the garden, and then we were turning the kennel into a greenhouse for a bigger garden area because the rabbits and the squirrels devour my garden.
Well, and for a winter garden area, for our neck of the woods,
I'm trying.
For where we are, you can winter over and sprout a lot of vegetables all year long. You just can't get them in the ground. Where you can grow like broccoli, cabbage, and lettuce and stuff like that year round. Here, if you have a greenhouse type area, other stuff not so much, but there's a few fall type vegetables. You don't have to have a heater in your greenhouse or anything. They're good within a greenhouse environment.
So we started all this stuff like the same day. And of course, when you do too much at one time, there's always some kind of hiccup. And we had started turning this dog kennel into a greenhouse all because we had the plastic. It all started because I was like, we have the plastic, we have this dog kennel, we don't need it anymore because the pups are bigger. I want a greenhouse. This is the best idea I've ever had. Perfect.
Well, and it still is a great idea. And I didn't spend hardly any money on pipe. PVC pipe was
for
cheap.
The hoop ceiling thing. That it worked great until we discovered that the whole point of making this again was because we had the plastic. After reading, we have the plastic for it, but it's not the right type. It's not thick enough. So we've got to go and do that. So we've got that coming our way, that little project. And today it's just super windy and really chilly. So, I don't want to do it today. And then he did finish the axolotl stand and it looks great. We had a little hiccup with the door, but he fixed it and it works great. We spray painted it black and it looks great. We moved the axolotl. We went ahead and moved it down here and he did the chiller and it's working. I feel like it was success. Like for us, it's a major success. I just feel like in the future, we might have to get a slightly larger. We're using a teeny, it's not teeny, but it's definitely a small canister filter. And we might need, you said a little bit more hose, but there's a lot of hose in there. So,
well, I know you're going to do a short on it probably, or a little short video.
He goes, do you want to make a video on this? I was like, it would have been great, but you're already done. I was like, you, granted, we had all this stuff. It was at your parents' house. They had all this stuff. So it was easier for you to do it over there. But I was like, thank you for thinking of me, but it's kind of after the fact now. But I'll still record it.
But there's been a million videos about fish tank stands.
Yeah, that wasn't anything exciting.
There hasn't been a million videos of everybody's heard of a kegerator, nobody's heard of a fisherator.
He just wants to say that so bad.
Well, and it's
I'm
true.
gonna tell Mom. I was like, Mom, I need you to make me a t-shirt for Jesse. So next week he's gonna say, it's not a kegerator, it's a fisherator.
The all fish. I'm trying to pin your accents. We
It's
are Midwest. I mean,
Ozark.
smack dab in the middle of the Ozarks.
And I feel like it could, I don't know. I was raised, we just don't put ending sounds on our words and we smash them all together.
Yeah, we crunch our words together really
and
bad.
I don't hear it until we travel. And then people are like, where are you from? I'm like, right in the middle of Missouri.
Long family show. Hello. Just stopping by for a few minutes. Well, thank you for taking those few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Kane, what's up? Freaky Fish Lady, howdy. Hello,
Howdy.
freaks.
She knows our accent. She's right down the road.
Yep. Another fellow Ozarkian.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think the only project that I got completed start to finish was the rabbit fence around the garden.
Yes.
And the garden is completely tilled, ready to plant.
I think you were just having fun. You just wanted to go out there and rev something up. Be like, we get the tiller out.
No, I knew it was supposed to rain this weekend.
I know, you did great.
And I wanted it to be ready so that you can get in there and do your thing.
I've been using the Tetra tank, that 75. It's got angels and Tetra. We need to get some more Corridoras. Our mystery snails. I've never had really good luck with mystery snails, but in that tank, those 2 mystery snails are doing really well.
Awesome.
And so I've been using that tank water to water the garden. And as I water change, I've just been collecting it in a big bin outside. So I've been using that for my garden. And so far we've got the spinach is sprouting. I planted a lot of lettuce and arugula because, you know, the bearded dragon likes it too. So we planted a lot of that. Is sprouting. The peas are doing really well. What else is out there? I planted some broccoli, and so far one little broccoli sprout is sprouting. And then I threatened the peppers. I was like, peppers, if you don't start sprouting, I'm going to Lowe's and buying peppers. And no joke, overnight those things started sprouting. So I was like, maybe there's something to that. But I was just obsessively watching. I was like, man, I really want these peppers to start sprouting. And all of a sudden they did. But I've been putting them on top of the dryer, and I think the bottom heat really helps. But
well, it's still early for here.
That's what
this
he keeps
area.
Saying, but, you know, I get excited.
You can sprout anything here pretty much year round. It takes sometimes takes a little longer than others.
I was like, when did it? I don't know when it happened. But it did happen. And like my perk of the day is fiddling with the fish tanks, gardening, watching the birds in the backyard, fiddling with my dogs. And it's like the best day. And I was like, when did this happen? It's the best.
Nano Aquarium Guy, hello. Barbara Jackson, hello. And welcome.
Thank you for being here. And me just rambling.
The old fish. Oh, well, I'm from Sweden, so I bet you guys have the weirdest. Yeah, well, we do have a very weird, odd accent, and we accept it, and we appreciate it. When we talk to each other, we do not, and until we talk to other people, and then they're like, where are you guys from again?
We do get that when we travel. They never know where. They're just, where are you guys from?
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you.
We come across with a twang. We have what is called a twang in our part of the world.
English was never my strong subject. It was always math and science. So I try. And I mean, doing live stream, YouTube videos, when I started doing YouTube, it was definitely something to get over because I didn't realize that I had a thing about listening to myself until I was editing. And I was like, I don't hear it until I guess I edit it more. And I'm like, that didn't make no sense.
That didn't make any sense at all.
And then with the live streams, with the live streams, it's really, for me, it was a hurdle to be like, okay, I don't have the largest vocabulary, and the hard words I know, I might not 100% guarantee pronounce them right, but I'm going to try.
Well, we are not a very articulate group. Our vocabulary is there, but to
yours is you can spell really well.
And I can speak well. The problem is conveying my message sometimes gets lost really quickly because I add in like little things, pieces that I think you should understand, but you're not going to because you're not going to relate at all.
That's the reason I need, like, we have to do this as a team, especially for the podcast, because I sometimes feel like I kind of know what I'm saying, but it might not be the easiest thing to follow. But then you will like take it in, unscramble the Carrie language, and then say it so well for the listeners. So we work together as a team. You get what I'm trying to say probably 85% of the time. The other times it's like, I think this is what you're saying.
Well, it's probably 85-90% of the time that I understand. I can unscramble it because I know where you're coming from.
I hope so. I look at you like, help.
Please,
help me get to the point. But it's fun. I love it.
Oh, Barbara Jackson just placed my new 40 breeder on its stand. I'm feeling ambitious.
Oh, that's great.
Well, that is exactly what the axolotl is in a 40 breeder.
Yeah, that's what I put I believe, if I remember right, I got it from Jess. I believe she told me it was a girl. But it's a 40. There's no substrate right now. It's a bare bottom. I had it when I first got it in a 20-gallon long sand substrate. And then I don't know. We just decided to make the 40-gallon breeder a bare bottom for the axolotl tank. And it's been working out great. It's a lot easier to clean. That's for sure. And I can make sure everything gets eaten when I feed it. But I feel like it's odd because I'm so used to that tank upstairs that I'm like, where'd it go?
Yeah, there's a
and
big
then I come
spot
down here and I'm
the,
like,
in the dining
wow.
room missing.
It's one of those things that's like, I just have to get used to it. But we have a perfect spot for another one now. So,
no, that's going in your where you want it. It's coming downstairs. It's
but it still makes a good stand.
Well,
regardless of where it's at, it could be down here and have a 40-gallon breeder.
There's outlets in that other room. You put a beta or something over there.
Yeah, we can get a 40-gallon breeder really easy and put right anywhere on it because it's just perfect.
We keep getting
it's like
40-gallon breeders, then all that's got to change again because then I get to build my stand I want to build.
Yeah, that's true. Go for it. No one's stopping you. Today's the day.
Freaky fish lady. I lived in Texas for 30 years, tried to translate that. I can, and this will be politically incorrect, so I'm going to caveat this.
I didn't say it.
It would be Spanglish. Spanish and English combined because there are so many people from Mexico up in Texas that my cousin lives in Texas. I visit him regularly and he speaks a totally different dialect because he's used to talking to a lot of Mexicans and he's used to talking to a lot of English people, and the sentence will be half broken English and half broken Spanish.
I have some friends that's lived in Texas for a little while, but I don't know if I know, besides people in the fish community, there's a few that I think have been born and raised there, but I don't know if I've known too many. Just my friends from Springfield, it seems like they've each had a spell where they've lived down there for a couple of years and then they've come back. But I visited some when I did the hair stuff before the Aquashellas went to Dallas, and that was about my only experience with Texas. I just remember it being really hot, and now it's still really hot, but that's about all I know. It's all I can contribute.
Well, the off fish. My neighbor's daughter married an American Italian guy from New Jersey who moved here last year, and I love his accent. Jersey people got an accent.
Yes.
And it is a thick accent.
It's one that I always get everybody confused, but it's one that I'm more apt to recognize. But to me, I'm like, it's just I don't know. It sounds tough.
It's a New York accent,
Uh-huh.
kind of, but I'm going to say louder and more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the way to describe it without being able to speak it. It is a very
Mm-hmm.
aggressive
Oh,
accent.
my eyes are itching. I
Right.
tell you, the allergies are thick today. Sorry. Oh, Skipper's here. Hi, Skipper.
Hey, Skipper.
Welcome, welcome.
Freaky fish lady. I only know the cuss words.
Mhm.
Well, and then you add the English in with the rest of it. See, there you go. That's how that works. Oh,
I'm scared to touch the computer, so I'm gonna use my phone because that one I kept swiping out of it. I'm scared to touch it anymore.
well, if you swipe out of it, it was an accident.
Yeah, but I did it like 4 times.
Well, this is true. And I know a lot of people. John Larson, hello.
Welcome, welcome.
Watching a few minutes before work. Well, thank you, John.
Thanks for
Appreciate
being
that.
here.
I know a lot of people are. What
Hmm.
this weekend? You said?
Aquafest is this weekend.
I know you've been watching a lot of chats from.
Well, the only ones I've watched was just had one this morning, and then she had one yesterday that I was watching, and I was like jealous. I wanted to go, but at the same time, I'm like, oh man, it's still kind of far away. I need to make more money to travel more.
Talking about
But it looked
accents,
fun.
Skipper's accent, Southern, right? Yes. Skipper is a Southern boy.
Well, Skipper lives in Pennsylvania.
Does he?
Yeah.
He's got a Southern accent.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he'll tell us. He'll let us know.
Well, we'll let Skipper set that straight.
I'm waiting.
I'll say he sounds to be more Southern than.
I don't know.
I know where my accent's from. It's from smack dab in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
Whip's
waiting.
World's going to set us straight with my Spanglish.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
he was born in North Carolina.
There you go. That's they consider them Southern people.
See?
North Carolina, Southern.
That's our Skipper fact of the day.
Yes. Ta-da. Welcome.
Thanks.
Heard it out of Skipper first. Whip's World, dude. I've been communicating with that workforce. Speaks for the most part broken English. Some are better than others. After 24 years out of 33 I've been here, I know more Spanish. Yes, but I'm gonna say you're like Freaky Fish Lady. I bet you know when you're getting cussed at.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I'm working on to help me with my Spanish is I started watching Narcos. And I was like, I need a Pedro Pascal fix. So let's watch Narcos.
Well,
I'm learning Spanish.
Well, I thought you was mostly working on your reading.
That too. We'll go with that. Yep.
Because you got to watch it with the subtitles.
Yep. Yep. We watched The Mandalorian. I finished The Last of Us, and now we're going to work on Narcos.
Well, and you've got the tank so under control now to get onto a small fish topic.
Oh, no more Pedro Pascal talk.
Yes, we're going to get away from Pedro.
Go for it. We could talk fish every 5 minutes. It's okay. It's Sunday Fun Day.
That is Sunday Fun Day. But you have got such a good grasp on your tanks now. And have worked to maintain them to a point that really the only thing you have to do is a slight water change on some of them and top them off again.
They don't need water change so much as we do have a problem with evaporation. I fight that a lot, but it would help if I put the lids back on, But that's hard after a hard, just did such a good job water changing. That last little step of putting the lid back on is just so hard to remember for me.
Well, she's got me on the cycle of now before I go to bed, I come down and check the lights.
I turn the lights on. He can turn the lights off. It helps. And then you don't have to yell at me anymore for jacking up the electricity bill because I can't turn off the light. So it's teamwork.
I'll agree to teamwork.
And it's finest.
I'll agree to teamwork, and it does work.
Yes.
Q's Aquatics. Hey.
Welcome.
Vinoski. Hey. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend, both of you.
Thank you for being here in our Sunday fun day random chat. No. But I was thinking to myself the other day when we were fiddling with the axolotl tank, in our 55-gallon the Amica Splendid tank, I don't like my light on that tank at all. There's nothing about that light that I like. It causes more problems than anything. So I've been sharing one of my Fluval lights. I've been switching it back and forth, and it has worked a lot better. And I was just standing there yesterday admiring it. I'm like, I know there's water in there, and I know it's in all that, but it looks so clear that it just looks like it's just, I don't know, it just looks so much better since I have moved. And granted, it's not that tank is sharing a light, but it looks so much better. I was just standing there and admiring myself or my work that I was like, man.
You were so clear you was admiring yourself.
I was just admiring myself that I was like, I did such
really
a good
nice
job.
That the tank was so clear.
You got to give yourself a pat on the back every once in a while because it just does well for my confidence. I thought of the idea of swapping those lights out, but anyway, and the tanks do look really well. It's just we fight evaporation a lot, so I don't necessarily. I used to top off a lot more. Now, instead of topping off, I will go ahead and do just a small. It might not be, but like a 5 or 10% water. It'll be a small one, but I will still take out a little bit and add more.
Well,
if that makes
the All Fish has a question. What's the RH in your fish room?
The RH, I don't know.
Well, I was going to ask, what does he mean by RH?
Give me a second.
And I could be, and I could be random and not knowing what that means.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It'll probably be really obvious once he's.
Well, it'll
be like, oh yeah, duh.
No, it'll be a duh moment. I guarantee it will be one of those. Mm-hmm. Scuba Stevo. Oh, hey guys, ready to hit my first fish swap at Louisville Tropical.
Have fun. That's gonna be great.
Oh, that sounds like a good time, man.
Yeah, there's our club meetings Thursday, and I'm trying to get someone to be like, hey, let's go. And they have a really small little swap at that, and I'm hoping to go, but if not, Patty says maybe pH could be or relative humidity.
Oh, our relative humidity here?
I don't know what it is, but I know it's really high in the summertime. I might have straight hair in the morning, but by the end of it, it's going to be curly. And
yeah, if it's relative humidity, it's high.
It's surprised, like when we talk about it to people, especially when we go to Florida, because I know that. But we have some humidity here. It might not be as crazy, but it still gets pretty. You just go outside and just like, oh, I can't breathe. But I moved the fish room in the basement, and it's usually just like 70 down here.
Yeah, our relative humidity is in the summertime off the chain. Mm-hmm. In the winter, gets down relatively low, but once spring starts ramping up like it is right now, been
having so many storms right now.
Our relative humidity is goofy, crazy high. We are with the southern states on humidity, and so we do run dehumidifiers down here.
I have one down here.
Yeah, there's one here, and there's another one in the other side of the basement. So yes, we have to. It gets crazy humid down here. Even with having central air, everything else, the relative humidity is very high in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nothing to empty them at least once a day. And pulling that much moisture out of the air. It's insane.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It gets a little bit crazy. Whips World. I need to check parameters, but my 150 is hazy for a couple weeks now. Nothing has changed in there. Stocking is $2 silver, a spotted Raphael, and I need to figure out what's going on there. Ooh, that's a good one. That really is. Because I shouldn't say we've. Not Charlie. Lost my thing. You've had a hazy tanks a bunch of times, and it's been for different reasons.
Yeah, over the course. I would say out of the one in the fish room down here, the one that I was having the most trouble with was my dad's old tank. For some reason, it seemed like every time we'd go to Aquashella, it would come back and it would just have some kind of, it was white and milky, so it was more of a bacterial bloom. That's what I figured. But it's so planted, and there's been different things in it through the time I've had it, just random, like from guppies to bettas to mollies. I've had all different kinds of things in there, and I'm sure something's died and I just didn't see it or something. But out of all the ones down here, if I have a problem with something that's kind of going a little cloudy or a little hazy, it's usually that one. The Mika Splendid tank, I wouldn't say it was ever hazy. It was just that light it was just too much. And it would kind of every once in a while, it would just breed so much algae. But it was pretty predictable. But this 30-gallon, that's the one. I'm trying to think. That's definitely the one that if I had some kind of problems here recently in the fish room tanks, it was usually this one right here beside me, this 30-gallon. It was my dad's tank that we redid, my childhood tank. But it's got so much Vallisneria in there that you can't see. So if I lost a few fry or something in there, or a shrimp or something, unless it was the only thing in there, that's what I was chalking it up to. You wouldn't.
But if Whips is still stocked the same,
yeah, I'm just talking about
nothing's changed. I'm trying to think of what would cause that haziness unless there's something else in there that could have died off, or bacteria of some sort growing to cause that haziness.
He's smart. He'll be like, oh, I know.
Well, number one, he said, need to check parameters. Yeah. Obviously, that's your go-to to at least start narrowing down what happened. Because if the stocking hasn't changed and everything's the same.
For a while, it was always the heat. It seemed like, I don't know, the heaters, I don't know which one it is, but it's one that you can dial, and it was always set at the same temperature. But there would be times I'd come down here and just touching the front of the glass, it was noticeably too hot. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I eventually just got sick of it and just unplugged the heater. And it's been a lot better since. It just seemed like that heater would I don't know. It was just noticeably, you would walk past it and put your hand on the glass. You're like, that water's hot. But you would look at the heater and it's like, no, it's set the same temperatures. And it was just like, dang. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. The all fish, my panda cories are breeding as we speak.
Oh, that's cool. That's one I want to try.
It's a Fishapalooza. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. That's one thing that we do want to breed is Corydoras.
I just need to get more of them. They're really hard to get a hold of here. And so if we do get a good, nice amount of them, it's probably going to be somewhere on the road or at a swap or something, because they're just really hard to get here. But I love them. And it's because of the fish fam I even knew what they were. I was like, man, I like these.
Well, and speaking of fish breeding and still on a fish topic, a little bit outside the box, but
What?
on fish topic, my mom and dad are restocking the pond that my dad recently dug out again.
Yes.
He dug this pond out, got it all cleaned out, and is wanting to stock a bunch of crappie in it. So that him and my daughter, his granddaughter, that's what was on my mind when I said Charlie, are to go crappie fishing.
Yes.
Well, they didn't get all their fish this last run. They went to pick their fish up from the fish truck that stocks all the native species for around this area. Crappie, catfish, bluegill, all grass carp, all different types of outdoor native species of fish.
Yes.
And they didn't get them all. So I talked to my mom, and they're going to go down to the actual fish farm next weekend and pick up the rest of their order that was not delivered to them.
Well, they might need something bigger than that 5-gallon bucket they bought.
Well, no, they buy them when they're 2 inches long. So, and they were wanting to transport fish, and they were like, well, they were going to transport them in a cooler without any air or anything. And I was like, don't do that. Number one, they're native fish. They're not super expensive, but you still don't want to lose fish.
No.
You're still buying them. You're still paying for them. You want them to survive. You got to realize my parents are, we'll just use the word redneck, and farmers like I am. So they're going to transport in whatever. They've transported fish in 55-gallon metal trash cans for stocking ponds. So it's not an unforeseen sight here. But I brought them over some small aerators and stuff for some 5-gallon buckets, and they were just absolutely thrilled. They were like, oh, you mean we can use these instead of using a cooler and some trash cans and stuff?
You might have slightly better luck, but
well, I mean, you usually they're not transporting a bunch, like 75.
Yeah. Okay.
But however, they want them all to come back alive. I say, of course, yes. So you're going to have a better luck, at least if you put a little oxygen in the water, because even when the fish truck comes, it has giant aerators in it to try to keep them alive, because they're getting sloshed around. They're stressed, obviously.
Well, yeah.
And so, yeah, I took those over this morning, and they were just tickled pink about get something so simple that, I mean, now I wouldn't have thought of it now or then, but now being with you, just like, yeah, just add a little air and they'll be fine. Even though you're gonna put 20 in this bucket, 20 in that bucket, and probably 20 in another bucket, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And
glad to help.
So I thought it was something on fish topic, a little bit different, but
well,
still.
I was wondering, because I walked in on you talking to your mom, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is not a normal conversation that you have with your mom. But I was like, if she needs it, go take it to her. I don't care just go deliver it. And I don't care. But I was kind of confused. It's just like, what are they doing? And then I got it. I was like, that makes more sense. Okay.
Just stuff I follow. Good evening.
Welcome. Our closest fish store was here in town, but they closed down at the beginning of the year. Now it's pretty much 2 hours on either direction. Either way you go, it's 2 hours. The only thing we have here in town now is PetSmart. Yeah. But any local pet store, the closest one is really like within 2 hours, either direction. any direction, I would say.
Yeah.
It's
That's the
kind of the closest. It is.
What?
I was trying to read, and sometimes it's challenging.
Oh, Whip went to a swap yesterday and picked up 3 Venezuelan black Cories. Also,
that's cool.
A couple Asian stone mini catfish.
Wow, that sounds.
And
fancy.
I don't know if I've seen those or not.
Probably
Asian stone mini catfish. I don't.
If you have, I will pay you $5.
But I have no clue.
If you could even identify them in a picture of 3 catfish.
Yeah, I
but
don't.
That
think,
sounds so.
I don't
cool
think I could. I
and
really
snazzy
could.
That he might have to. He knows how to get. He might have to send us a picture.
Yeah, I don't think I could identify those.
But that sounds.
That's not
that
one.
Just sounds fancy, doesn't it? Even if I don't really know, but it just sounds cool.
No.
There's so many, like when I was growing up, I don't know. I didn't put any thought into it, I guess, really, but I just figured what was at the fish store, that's all I could get. And now that I've gotten older and I know the fish fam and we've traveled and seen there's so many things out there that you can keep that it's just like every trip or every time you read or like talk to someone, you're like, wow. I didn't know about that fish, but that sounds fantastic.
Well, and there's also so many crossover names that they use for different things when you're in different parts, even of the United States, that you're like, hold it. That's the same thing I get here, but they call it something different. If you really look and you know what you're looking at,
it gives me so many options for that future 40-gallon tank you're going to give me for that stand upstairs that we can move down
here we go with that again.
And the perfect opportunity to stock is when you go to the Keystone Clash with me, you know.
Oh, here we go with
or
that.
Or Aquashella or any of the fish trips that, you know, maybe the auction this weekend at the pet club at the club meeting.
Oh, I am getting drug.
We just, you know. I want you to go.
I know you do.
Oh, goodness. What else?
Unhexable. Wow, I thought your shirt said 222 for a second.
It does kind of at a glance. Yeah, I can see it.
I see my lucky little number everywhere. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Joey's here. Hi, Joey.
The king of DIY.
Welcome.
Hope you're having a wonderful weekend, buddy.
Working on all those tanks. I was like, dang, I want that.
Well, the man is off the chain when it comes to that.
We got to figure out how to build tanks. That's our next big goal. We need to invest in you. You need to help me buy them supplies. So we can build tanks. So when you go to all these awesome fish things, you can help me stock them. See how, and you can have as many plants as you want. I know how much you love plants, so feel free. There's plenty of new plants available. Just think of all the different combinations of plants that you could put in all those new 40-gallon breeders, and all the ones that we could figure out how to build together.
Well, because I already got the plan set up for the stand. I wanted that you nixed.
So you should go. No, I didn't nix it. I just thought maybe it'd create less work for you if you didn't build it and we bought it, because then we would have more energy to fish shop and travel. Because you wouldn't be down here just working so hard building all those stands.
Now you're stroking an ego.
Spending all that time sanding. Just think of all the time you could spend with me traveling and bonding and all the memories we can make with our friends if you just bought them stands instead of having to build them.
Oh, just bought the stands and built the tank myself, huh?
Well, we need to learn how to do that too, because, you know, it sounds difficult, but it sounds like a good skill to have, to know how to build a tank.
Well, I would think
I'm terrified of drilling them. So if we mess them up as we learn to drill them, we would know how to replace them easier because we could build them.
Indoor fish inside.
He's like, moving on.
Yeah, I'm trying to get off there. Indoor fish inside. If I didn't say hi, hello trying to jump away from here.
I choked him. Susie says, "Wow, we're wading in the deep." I choked him up.
Oh, you're pushing me to the limits here.
You know.
Well, all that means that I'll have to ask the king of DIY what I should work with first. Should I work with acrylic or should I work with glass?
I would say glass, just because it seems, I don't know. I know nothing.
Well, I know, and you're throwing this all on me, and I have to figure it out. This is, and don't get me wrong, I love this part of the hobby.
And we're gonna learn
the aquarist. For me, the stands and the tanks and all that is the hobby part. The fish are the actual being an aquarist and taking care of something.
I'm just glad
you put me in the hobby part more because I'm the plumbing, lighting, build me this guy.
I don't know how you know this stuff you know. Like, I feel like, me personally, I'm not dumb. I have my moments where I'm a little stupid, but generally speaking, I'm kind of intelligent. But if you come to me and be like, I need you to turn this mini fridge into an axolotl chiller, I'd look at you and be like, how in the world do you expect me to do that? But you over here just be like, you do this, 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 and this. And then I come to you and be like, can you turn this awesome dog kennel into a greenhouse for me? I don't know how to do it, but you sure do know how to just whip it up. And so it's nice to be able to have you to do that, because now just of all the endless ideas, and then I can stand there and look at you while you do it and be like, see, now all of the information you just let me learn. You just taught me so much.
Yeah.
Oh, he says acrylic glass is a nightmare. Acrylic is way easier. He has a detailed tutorial coming out soon. We'll watch it.
Well, yes, we will watch it. And thank you so much,
because
Joey.
It is a good skill that I'm like, drilling tanks, building tanks, those things to me sound so scary. We have re-siliconed a handful of a good amount of tanks, and everything it was a lot easier than I had it in my head. But I feel like that's kind of the next step. And in my head, it's just terrifying and so difficult. But it seems like
it's
once
not
you get over it,
it's the fact of getting the materials. Just get the materials, and then once I have the materials, then it's not terrifying to me.
Well, and the first one's always the worst.
And if I can custom build anything I want, then I can pretty much.
I want a tank in the wall. I want a tank in the bathroom. I want a tank in this, like the staircase area. I mean, it's endless because we can just.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not. It's a little more time consuming than that.
No, never.
We're going to take a little more time and we're going to do it right.
Yes. We're not going to rush through things. Patience is something that we've learning.
And I will get there.
Yeah. The fish room's never done. Once you think the fish room's done, then you're like, I don't like it. Let's work on this part. And then it's just never done.
I mean, it's like a regular natural fish out in the stream. The environment is always changing. Well, if you're doing this for you, the environment is always changing. We're always moving tanks, shifting fish, rearranging things, rearranging plants, rescaping.
I've done good keeping the shelves where they've been. I think a couple of years now it's been like this. But that side of Jesse, right behind those tanks, that area, we've gotten rid of some things. We've brought in some new tanks on that side. We've got everything kind of cleaned up just for when we have tanks. We're going to put them and kind of build out that area. And then eventually kind of, I don't know if we'll get rid of that shelf or just move it along another wall, but kind of have a better view of all the tanks instead of just right here. Because on either side of us, we've complained about it a lot. It's getting to where we just need a little bit more room.
And we have the room. We just haven't decided what to do with the rest of
yeah,
the
we used
room.
to have doors right there. They were like sliding makeshift kind of doors. We didn't really use them, so we got rid of those, and just to kind of expand things a little bit. It's gonna look good in the end, but it's never done.
But
even when we get
that's
that done, it's never done.
Whenever that's done, it will only last a year or two, and then it'll be on to the next thing.
Yeah, but it makes me feel good to rearrange things, you know.
Well, that is the great thing about this community and everything else in it is nothing's ever complete. No matter what.
And now that they're your
slightest changes you can do.
And now that they're your friends too, it makes my life easier because you say, well, yes, more often.
True. I mean, you do have a point there.
But I guess it's time to go. We'll go hang out with Skipper in his chat, and we'll be back next Sunday. And stay tuned for the podcast this week. It's coming up sometime this week.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what day it is because we haven't recorded it yet. So stay tuned for that. But it's been fun. Thank you for hanging out. And we will see you next Sunday.
Yes. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. And we will catch you in some other chats.
Yeah. And I'll update you. Like I said earlier, our next short will probably be the axolotl chiller. So if you are curious of what it looks like and how it turned out, stay tuned for that. So thank you. We'll see you soon.
Have a good weekend.